the deck size is going to have the biggest impact on cut quality over all of those things. So it doesn't matter what brand it is, and it doesn't matter what the shape of the deck is, although that does improve cut quality. It matters on the deck size.
Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Star.
The machines we buy aren't, not cheap. Let's be honest, they're not cheap. Like I bought another climbing saw today. I got it for special. I got it on special for $750.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like people go, "Oh, you got the money to do it," but like,
Yep.
man, the last climbing saw I've got was 2 years old.
yeah,
It's probably made me $100,000. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
You've got to make that budget. You've got to be wise with your purchases.
Yeah,
I see that pretty rampant in this industry. Look, go down and I can't tell you. Look, I don't get right into what brand of model. Like I know what brand I've got, but I couldn't tell you what model. I can tell you what deck size they are because they're quite important for our business. We need to know where things can go and where they can't go.
Yeah.
But as far as like specifics on the XZ4329. Now, I couldn't tell you. Because it's not that I don't know. They're in the shed. But, I'm too sort of focused on another part of the business than worrying about I don't have the latest model, which is most of these models these days, they're not too much difference between them. Let's be real. We've got stringent emissions controls and, people sort of going battery. I get that. But, nothing's extravagant compared to the other. It's called business. If you make a machine, I copy it, make it a little bit better. Like it's the way it is. So I don't get caught up with all that sort of stuff.
I published an episode last week. It was a guy that sent me a question and I said, hey, how do you feel about doing an episode just on your question? And the question he asked me was about getting a stand-on mower to make his business more efficient. And his concern was, will the quality of cut be as good as the push mower? And I went back to him and I said, and this is on the interview as well, not just in private. I said, even though I'm sponsored to tell you Righ is a really good stand-on mower and sell that to you, and I believe they are a good mower, that's beside the point.
I've got
one. nine times out of 10, what you need to know is the deck size is going to have the biggest impact on cut quality over all of those things. So it doesn't matter what brand it is. It doesn't matter what the shape of the deck is, although that does improve cut quality. It matters on the deck size. If you want the best cut quality in the industry, get a robotic mower because it's got a smaller cut width.
Correct.
If you want the most efficient cut, that's a different story. And if you want something that's going to keep your customers happy, then what you're doing currently with a push mower that's 19 inches is not going to look the same when you go to a 30-inch stand-on mower.
Correct. And efficiency is a hard one. Like I've got what's mine, a 32. I've got a 32 out there. It's still not feasible. So if you take that out, as opposed to your Honda or your Toro, you're still going to use the Honda or the Toro more than the 32-inch. Like 9 times out of 10, it's not suitable for every single job, right?
Yeah, correct.
It's just not. So it's a hard one to say. Like if you're doing big jobs, I started doing big jobs with a 36-inch Hustler. I was doing jobs that it should not have been doing.
Yeah.
But I was just holding off until I could pull. And when I say holding off to pull the trigger, I had money.
Yeah.
But I only set a certain amount of budget for this company.
Yep.
And I don't like throwing my own money into any business because it's not a business.
I tell people when they come and ask me about a Righ mower or any sort of mower, and they're like, is this a good decision for my business? I'd ask them, have you got customers where you can use that, and will it make you more efficient on your existing customers? If you want to buy a $15,000 stand-on 32-inch mower and you're only going to use it on 5% of your existing customers, then it's either you're living in fairyland or you're planning on expanding your business into a market where you utilize that. And if that's the case, if you're planning on expanding your business and you're going, okay, I'm going to find customers to suit that machine, that's a different story. Go and do it if you can afford to.
Correct.
But keep in mind that it is not suitable to your existing business.
No. And I see that rampant in this industry. I really do. Mate, I sort of, we all frequent mower shops, right? And you hear, it's like anything, right? There's a fine line between sales and the right advice.
Yeah.
Right. The contractor goes to the mower shop. The guy behind the counter is selling you product because that's his job.
Yep.
Right. Is he leading you astray? No, he's not leading you astray because eventually you pull the trigger on what you purchase. But yeah, I've walked into these shops and the flashing lights and the new equipment can be almost, you want it, right? Like it's new, it's good.
Yeah,
Even though
it feels good.
it does feel good,
an
even
endorphin
though
hit.
2 weeks of using it every day, it doesn't even look new, right? Like it's so.
Yep.
I've seen it with my own eyes, guys, just pulling a trigger on something that they just, I probably could use it. Like,
yeah,
there'll be jobs down the track I can use it for. I don't know if that's the right justification on that.
Yeah.
In saying that, though, I've personally purchased a $25,000 machine for $10,000.
Yeah.
How could you say no?
Yeah.
But I already had half a dozen jobs I could use it on.
Yeah.
So I still didn't pull the trigger on the 10 grand, even though it was so worth it. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't justify.
So I think this is where I ask people those questions, right? If, say, you've got a lawn run where you are only 20% full and you're going, oh, should I buy a new mower? Yeah, you should buy a new mower if it's going to help you fill your business schedule up because you've got the equipment to do the job now. If that's what it is. If it's buying a machine where you're going, oh, this is going to save me so much money, but you only got 5% of your customers that you can use it on, and you're not trying to grow your business by double, then yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
but this is what happens though, right? Like I've seen it. I've seen it personally. You know, I'm pretty close to my shop that I go to, and I seen it today. I was at the shop today picking up something, and I seen it today. I seen it today, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
So okay, but you know what? That's their prerogative too, though. Too right? Like
yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't butt in or anything like that either. But I do see that in this industry massively. Like I've got plenty of mates that are tradies. They don't upgrade the new tools every week, every month. They buy the good tools and then sort of just they keep them until they stop working and then they upgrade. You know what I mean? Like it's a very interesting industry like that. It is. People want the new brush cutter. They want the model up, which if you have a look at statistics and the breakdown and specs of a lot of these machines, there's not a lot of difference in them. There's not.
Well, I've seen that numerous times where, and I've been guilty of doing this myself too, of going, you know what, if I get a new push mower every 12 months or so, then I will have the brand new tool that won't break down and I can run it for 12 months and then get a new one, right? And it's like, it's $2,000 every 12 months if I do it.
Yep.
Is it necessary? No. Is it efficient use of resources? No. But does it make me feel good to have a new mower in there?
Well, that's what I said to you. Like you can get a brand new mower, but within a week of using it every day, it doesn't look new anymore.
Yeah.
I've never had a customer, or I've had a couple of customers because I've got a couple of stand-ons, right? So I've rocked up and I've used the stand-on and they're just like, what is that?
Yeah.
But I've never had a customer go, oh, I'm glad you're using the Toro. I'm glad you're not using the Honda today. Or, oh, you've got a still now over a Husqvarna. I've never had that conversation with anyone except my tree lopper mates, because there's that rivalry between Husqvarna and Stihl, right? So
yeah, yep. I've had the reverse argument. So I had a customer which I lost. Not proud of this, but I lost the customer, and you wouldn't believe it. They did not like the cut quality of my ride-on mower. they wanted me to use a push mower. And that might make sense, right? But when you go, oh, it's a Walker, and everyone believes Walker is the best cut quality with a ride-on mower, and they're like, no, it's not good enough. I want you to go back to using your Honda 21-inch cut.
So we have a guy that's adamant. We've had him since day one. It's always been a ride-on job. It's always been a mulch job. It's a house in down in Caves Beach. It's quite large. It's quite a big space.
Yeah.
I have push mowed it. It takes a while.
Yep.
I can break down how quick it is. Exactly, right? I know this. I know that I can almost pull up how many steps it takes.
Yep.
But he was adamant. And I said, mate, we've only ever used the ride-on. He goes, no, I was here with you once when you used the push mower. I said, you also had a party that weekend and was setting up a marquee, and you were pretty specific about extra grass.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, that's right too. He goes, well, I just want a cord. I don't care. I was like, okay. So then we got the Stander B.
Yep.
And then we pulled into his house, and he was like, what's that? I said, well, he knows what it was. He goes,
yep.
I go, it's got a catcher. It's fine. He goes, I said, what's up, mate? He goes, I just don't want it ridden on. And I was like, so which is it? You want it caught, but you don't want it ridden on. He goes, well, actually, I don't mind as long as it looks neat. And I was like, well, hang on. That's even a different thing again, right? Because you can make something look unneat, but with a push mower, right? Like you can mow in circles. It won't look neat, right? So,
people have the perception there that the ride-on or the stand-on mower will leave deeper trenches than the push mower, when in fact they actually have lower pressure per square inch than a push mower does.
Correct. And a larger footprint.
Yeah.
So it's not going to cause as much damage.
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh, that machine's one. Like that day, he was like, that's beautiful. And I was like, mate, to me, I'm pretty pedantic.
Yep.
And I always try and look at both sides of the equation, not just mine, but the customers. And I thought, I can't see a difference. You know what I mean? So you do have that in this industry as well.
Yep.
But that just goes back to you can't please everyone, right?
Exactly.
You're never going to. You're never, ever going to. So,
yeah.
And some people you do please, a month later they're not happy again. Like it just happens, mate. So,
yeah,
that's one of the hardest things of this job, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that customer I mentioned, that they were not happy with the cut quality of the Walker. They wanted to use the Honda. The only thing I can attribute it to is the width of cut of the Honda makes it look like it's getting a more even cut than with a 42-inch cut, half the width.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Everyone's different. I guess it takes all walks too, right?
I put it down to his yard being uneven, and because his yard was so uneven, it looked horrible.
Perfect opportunity to aerate and top dress and do a mini lawn reno.
I actually had him, I went through that scenario with him. I said, let's top dress some of these holes and it'll make an improvement on your yard. And it did. Yeah, and he still said, I want you to get rid of the ride-on mower and use the push mower.
Mate. And my Walker, like my Stander B, it's a right, sorry. Its cut's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, mate, it cuts beautiful. Like beautiful. Like
they do.
I use it on a property that I have. The property is valued at $11 million.
Yeah.
So they're pretty fussy. I've got the contract for that. And I use it up there, mate. And To be honest with you, there's television shows filmed on this property.
Yeah.
It actually starts this week again. So I'm literally going up with meeting with the producers on camera angles and depth of grasses and how thick they want grass because R&M Williams sponsors it. So they need to have the right depth. But anyway, like I take that up there and I tell you what, if anyone's going to be super fussy, it's going to be a television show.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money, season after season.
Millions of dollars are put into this television show, let alone the property.
Yeah.
And that thing cuts so well. You know, I was told last time, they were like, how do you push mow all this? It looks amazing. Like, it looks amazing. I was like, yeah, no, it looks amazing. So, but yeah, you can't tell. You can't tell some of these. You can't tell some people.
No, you can't. But I guess that comes back to whether they are a good customer or whether it's a good opportunity to say, I can recommend the other guy, come and have a look and do a quote for you.
Yeah, that's true as well. And like, your customers, like, if you've got good enough rapport, like, you've got to understand, a lot of my customers see me as the expert. And I don't call myself that, but a lot of my customers, like, you're in charge of that.
Yeah.
That's, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And this comes back to how you run your business, right? So when 95% of the people, then, the 95% of the people who won't last the first 5 years or even the first 12 months, they pride themselves on being a technician. I know the best. I come to you and I provide you with the best service, and that's why I'm going to win the work.
It's true.
So customers often will treat you that way, even if that's not how you run your business. They trust you to look after their yard, and having the right expectations is really important there. Talking to another guy about running his business, and he's hopefully going to come on for an interview soon. He's like, pretty easy to build from a standing start to $1 million business if you do it right. And I'm like, okay, let's see this roll out. How's it going to look? And his philosophy is find the most customers that never want to see you. They just want to know that it's taken care of. That
all falls back to reliability though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, some people are just I'm with him on that. I am with him on that. I know my staff would love that philosophy because they don't, the more jobs they do, my pay system's a little bit different than any contractor in Australia, I would say.
Yeah.
So my staff would love that, the less sort of communication. Not that they can't communicate, because I won't employ a staff member that can't communicate. That won't present well.
Yep.
I can't afford that. That doesn't work in with my ethos or my core values of my company.
Yeah.
And I do have set core values for this business. Not many contractors, I don't think, would have core values or really thought about the ethos behind it, which is extremely important for any business.
I would say a lot of them do, but they haven't thought that through and communicated it well. So when they come to putting on employees, they have no way of imparting those core values and going, I expect the same from you.
Well, yeah, and it's not just about reliability. Like, that shouldn't be a core value to a business that makes its business out of being reliable, right? So, I don't know how many people that listen would have actually sat down in a quiet room with a pen and paper and really written not their core values, their business's core values, and align themselves with that. You might find if someone does do that, I did it with my staff recently, actually. I said, it's time for a reassessment of our core values.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to write down your core values. The core value in one line, in one box, write down your core values, write down what our business should have as a core value, and then write down the core values that you would have if you owned the business.
Yeah.
And it was very, very interesting.
I bet.
Which was very enlightening for me, because I got to spend a bit of extra time with someone. And I'm all about growing people. I think
Yep.
I still believe there is good people in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm really open to that. So, but it was just, I had a meeting after that with one of my staff members, and I was like, mate, why did you think like that? Like, I'm just, and he was like, am I in trouble? I said, no. I need to know. And he goes, well, if you look at it like this and then like that, and then I was like, this is why you're on the team.
Yeah.
This is why you're on the team, mate. You know, it's a big thing. But how many of us do that? How many of us sit down and have staff meetings? I don't mean toolbox meetings at the beginning of the morning, at the beginning of the shift. How many? And I don't mean a social thing as a barbecue and a couple of beers down the pub, but like, how many of us really put that together and put people together in an environment like that? You know, you get to know a lot about your employees, and like people go, oh, it's just an offsider. It's actually not. It's an employee that represents your business.
Yeah.
And my personal experience is that can ruin your business.
Yes.
And don't think for 1 second it can't. And, oh yeah, but I'm with them. Oh really? You're with them all the time? Oh well, I'm on the snipper and he's on the mower.
Yeah.
Is he? Like he is, but did he just piss in the tree there? Like, did he spit? Did he spit because he got some dust in his mouth? Did he, spit his chewy out? Like what? Like, and I've seen this. Like a client go, that was not what I want to see.
Yeah.
So there's certainly got to be your offsider should be your employee.
Yep.
And your extension of you.
Yeah. Now, I've interviewed a lot of people. This interview will be close to 200 interviews that have gone out.
Wow.
I would say out of that, there's probably less than 10 interviews where people have taken this approach.
Okay.
Out of those, yeah. So it's a small percentage, probably around the 3-4% mark that actually. So, we're going back to that 95 versus 5, right? There are people out there who have this approach, but there's a lot of people out there that don't.
And that's true. And I see that in so many facets. Like I see it at the mower shop, for instance. We call it the mower shop, whatever you want. But I see that there. You see it there. You hear it from customers. You hear it from clients. I don't know. Does it make a lot of people say, "Oh, they make the industry shit"?
Yeah,
it makes my company look great.
Well, go back to reliability, right? The reason why reliability is considered a core value in our industry is because there's so many people who just simply aren't reliable. So I can make my business great by comparison to the guy up the road because I'm reliable and I know he's not. Right?
Yeah, but if that's such a simple thing that I think should be just already pre-programmed in our industry, right? Like it
should be.
it should be. I understand. Just because I don't like the word cowboys either. Just because some bloke works through in the week and he does a few lawns on the weekend and doesn't have the best gear and doesn't bloody buy into the standard Bs and the Toro 4916s.
Yeah.
Is he a cowboy or is he entrepreneurial? What differentiates it? He doesn't have insurance. Okay. I hear that one a lot. What if the lady next door that he's mowing the lawn of knows he doesn't? Is he still a cowboy? Does that make us look bad? Well, does he dress appropriately? Does that make us look bad? That's the stigma or the negativeness within the industry that really gets me because we don't know anyone's circumstance. I've got insurance.
Yeah.
I'm on some sites where I need to have every one of my guys needs to be police checked as a standard, as a minimum.
Yep.
I need $20 million public liability, not your standard 10. I need $20 million.
Yep.
There's even one site this weekend where I need to hold a security license for, in which I do.
Yeah.
That just to be on site. So, correct. So, does that make me not a cowboy? Does that make me an Indian? Like what I'm getting at is that term is just so thrown around that I don't care about the guy that doesn't have his insurance. Do I think it's the right thing? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Do I condone it? No, I don't. Does it bother me? Nah, it doesn't, because I'm not going to run him down, because I don't have time to run anyone down. We're running a business. We don't have time.
Well, I look at it from this perspective. I think everyone has their rightful place in this industry, whether we call them cowboys, whether we call you a entrepreneur. There's a massive variation in between. Doesn't really matter. I think there's a viable place for everybody in the industry. Sorry, I've got a dog going crazy in the
Was
background.
that your dog? Because I just looked at my dog going, what the hell is going on over there?
But
That's funny.
the thing I look at is I go, by doing my podcast, I'm hopeful that those people that are in the industry and those people that are thinking about the industry get to see the full breadth of how people behave in this industry, and they get to hear from you, and they get to hear from a number of people that we might classify as cowboys or whatever other word we might want to use, and they can choose to enter the industry or choose to change their perspective based on more information rather than less. So if you take nothing from this podcast ever, but if I'm reliable, I'll get better customers, that's a start. If I can get them elevated a little bit further to go, actually, I need to start thinking about this idea of profit first. If my business doesn't actually make a profit after it pays my own wage, then I can't put on an employee or an offsider, because I'm going to make a loss every time they work. Those simple lessons, massive things. And if I can reach the 20,000 contractors that exist at the moment, or the 10 million Australians that ever are thinking about starting their own business, then they have a chance of making a better decision. Are you thinking of leaving your job to start a profitable and enjoyable lawn and garden business? Aussie Lawn Stars shares stories, lessons, and advice to help you grow a healthy, productive, efficient, and sustainable business. Got questions or want more information? Contact Aussie Lawn Stars at iCloud.com. or reach out to Gary Ashton on Facebook or Messenger for personal help. But beware, your question may end up in a podcast episode. For business coaching that ensures the right mindset and decision-making approach, check out Think Tank Coaching. Their website is https://thinktankcoaching.com.au. They've been instrumental in helping me and can guide you towards achieving your business goals. You can also email them at thinktankcoaching@outlook.com. Need to set up best practices for bookkeeping, accounting, and business structure? Contact Adrian from Prosper Financial at 02 4977 3363. And don't forget to join Lawn Mowing Contractors Australia and Australian Professional Lawn Contractors Facebook groups. Great supportive communities focused on our industry.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.